Happy New Year 2024, and I cannot think of a better way to start it off than doing my very first review over a Marvel Omnibus, and this is the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. They call themselves the Sinister Six, but there's just 5 of them. Yes, this is made by Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber. All the way back when this was coming out, I read it in trade paperback form, and I went online and I signed a little petition for this to be an omnibus format, and it is. I don't think there's ever been a reprint. And this omnibus isn't perfect. I'll tell you one thing. So you see me, the new Sinister Six. All 5 of them. This is another comic cover. I think this is issue 15 or 14. Collects issues 1 through 17 of Superior Spider-Man, and that is it. $50. Holy crud. But here's the spine right here. This is, I think, issue 6, the cover right there. So, let's go through it really fast. You open it up, and it has these guys, right? It talks about the characters Overdrive, the Beetle, Speed Demon, Shocker, and Boomerang, who becomes a big deal in the Nick Spencer Spider-Man run, at least at the start. Yep, the crew is Sinister Six. That's so superior, you only need 5. So there's some stuff to read on that spine, and on the other spine, there's talk about the creators, Nick Spencer. Look at that, Speed Demon up front. So, for some context, Speed Demon and Boomerang were a part of the Spider-Man villain team called the Sinister Syndicate, and there's only 5 of the Sinister Syndicate. The Shocker teamed up with Boomerang and his girlfriend / this other villain called the Ringer's wife, Leela Davis, and the Rhino, but Shocker left because he just couldn't take the supervillain gang right there because he was scared because of this character called Scourge of the Underworld. Well, anyway, 3 of these have kind of been in the Sinister Syndicate before. The second, Beetle and Overdrive. Overdrive was introduced in Amazing Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day 2007, part of the relaunch of the Spider-Man universe from issue 546. And the second, Beetle, I honestly don't know, but I think this is her first appearance in comics. Also, just off topic, apparently in the Spider-Man 2 DLC, they're going to have Beetle as like a full DLC villain. I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one, the second one. Jamie Lincoln, Tombstone's daughter. A little bit of a spoiler there. This is the inside of the cover. It shows, I think, issue 17, the last issue order, just going around. Here's Nick Spencer and the artist, Steve. This whole wraparound cover here, you can see. Alright, now I can open it up, because, yeah, I'm not feeling responsible in opening this up without the cover. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Boomerang is the main character. You hear all of this from his narration, honestly. And it's actually really funny. I actually think it's really enjoyable. I read this in like less than a week. Well, it's only 17 issues and the panels and wording is pretty big. So, see Spider-Man terrifying Boomerang. I've always thought that this was from Deadly Foes of Spider-Man issue 4. This scene right here. This being shown again. We get Boomerang's origin story, how he went downhill. It's very funny, entertaining at least, and he has a new crew. Shocker, Beetle, Speed Demon, and Overdrive. He gets let out of jail. There's a whole lot of twists and turns and funny moments, and a lot of run-ins with bigger supervillains like the Chameleon, the Owl, like I said, Tombstone. Madam Mask appears in here. So yeah. They're doing a job for Hammerhead, and just Speed Demon is being a jerk. This little girl's dog's name is Inspector. Hammerhead's in Boomerang's apartment, going to the bathroom. And then Hammerhead beats up Shocker because Speed Demon stole, or Boomerang stole, parts of diamonds that Hammerhead didn't get all of his diamonds. Second, Beetle and Overdrive are committing a small robbery. Chameleon is in prison, and Boomerang owes money to him. And he gets his teammates to bust him out. And now it's time Boomerang to hit the big time. He meets with his lawyer who returns from the miniseries Deadly Foes of Spider-Man, Partridge. And Chameleon dresses up as the Punisher and scares everyone away, but Boomerang pretends he's the real Punisher because Chameleon gets out of jail and goes back in whenever he feels like it because he has money, he can easily deal with his powers. And instead of going to jail again, because he was on parole, he got caught trying to rob a small-time diner, which is where Chameleon came in. He gets put on a superhero recruitment program, in a way, called by Abner Jenkins, the first Beetle, who is now called Mach 7. Used to be called Mach 5. It talks about this story about Silvermane, how he got turned into a cyborg. His head is around the world somewhere. But it's a fake story, right? Anyway. Yeah, there's Mach 5. We get some origin, retelling of, not really a retelling, but just Boomerang's origin being in the Sinister Syndicate. Which is weird right here. Shocker was never in the Sinister Syndicate, so I don't know why they have him there instead of Speed Demon in that picture. Beetle was a member of the Thunderbolts. They went really good. So did Boomerang. Boomerang, as you can see right here. This was during Luke Cage's time as leader of the Thunderbolts, which was more of a Suicide Squad. This is when the Thunderbolts were bad guys doing missions for the government, just like Suicide Squad. The original Thunderbolts weren't like that at all. There is an omnibus that recently came out this month, actually, December. Or last month, because this is January 1st I'm making this. Okay, I could talk about this a lot. Boomerang has Mach 7 send Luke Cage and Iron Fist to defeat his old crew. And they do, he breaks him out so he looks all super cool. And, oh, look at that cover, that's so cool. He tries to get rid of Shocker, because Shocker knows the truth about him and Chameleon. They try to rob from Al's penthouse, and they actually make it out. And they steal Dr. Doom's head, or painting, because Dr. Doom had a painting about his real face. Boomerang kind of falls in love with this girl, but it turns out she's Black Cat at the very end of it, so that was kind of funny. I forgot about that twist. Al has his teammates arrested and captured to be tortured. Not arrested. And Tombstone breaks them all out. And issue 7, which is just a huge origin story of the second Beetle, which is why I say that I'm pretty sure this was her first appearance. Issue 8, Chameleon wants his stuff back from, Boomerang lied to Chameleon about Silvermane's head. So, he really wants the head. Turns out it's real. That story was real, and Shocker found it after Boomerang locked him in a car trunk and kicked him off a bridge. He survived and showed up at a junkyard, got Silvermane's head that was there and ran away with it. And now Shocker, I don't really care. I don't really like how they made the Shocker, and it's just a big crybaby loser, but anyway, he has Silvermane's head. And now he can be big time, maybe. He doesn't know. Look at that. He gets bit by Silvermane's head, which jumps around. I don't even know how that's possible. Al kind of scares Boomerang by having a robot Bullseye chase him. You get it. Hydro Man shows up in the Shocker's apartment and knows about the Silvermane head, so he goes and tells Hammerhead about it. Hammerhead kind of Hydro Man kind of betrays Shocker in that way, and so Hammerhead attacks his apartment to get Silvermane's head back. So here it is. This is issue 12, and the last issue was issue number 9, right? So what's 10 and 11? Well, that doesn't show up until the very end. It's kind of out of nowhere moments, which that's what I don't like about this. It's out of order. Boomerang works with a bunch of other loser villains thanks to the Owl to get Silvermane's the face of Dr. Doom's painting back from the Chameleon. Yeah, look at all those villains, like the Sinister 16, I think they call themselves. Mirage gets knocked out, or Chameleon pretending to be Mirage gets knocked out. Chameleon goes up against Hammerhead's thugs. There's a lot of just cutaway funny moments, though. It's almost like watching a movie or a old comedy, which I think is genius. At the end, they all get back together, but they're all betraying each other secretly, which I love. Like, there's the Black Cat coming back. Issue 17. Where is it? It's supposed to be here somewhere. Oh, there's Punisher coming back in I don't even remember what he does. He just shows up in issue 16. So, Overdrive, he got his powers from Mr. Negative. In this series, it also talks about his origin story. He got hurt for trying to give himself superpowers, and Mr. Negative came by to give him powers, and he decided to just work for the guy to try and be an evil villain, then turn hero like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch did. He's selling his team out to Mr. Negative. The Beetle is selling her team out to Tombstone. Speed Demon is selling his team out to Madame Mask. Yeah, it's gonna be very violent, and that's what happens in the next 2 issues. Boomerang dresses up as some other baseball guy to beat his record. Everything works out in the end, except Mirage dies again. It turns out he's telling this whole story to Peter Parker. Really funny. They all get happy endings. I mean, Dr. Doom gets his painting back. The Beetle works with Iron Man, sort of. Speed Demon gets to see Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Okay, you get it. And at the end of issue 17 has a little page right here talking about Nick Spencer. Who are the superior foes of Spider-Man? So this is issue 10, and it just talks about, I like this art right here. Look at that. These are all the villains at a bar, talking, or not all of them, it's Speed Demon, Beetle, and Overdrive. This is how Derry got that bus, that was a school bus all decked out. So, the Beetle too kind of guesses that Daredevil is Matt Murdock, so she uses that against him to win a case. We learn about Speed Demon kind of he's lying about his past. They all run away from Hercules because one time Overdrive was, he just escaped Hercules by the skin of his teeth. Well, not really, because Hercules was dumb and let him go because he didn't know that he was wearing a mask, I guess. Issue 11 is a group therapy session for Supervillains Anonymous. We see Grizzly just be a big baby, basically, and he gets caught by Superior Spider-Man. Then we learn about the Looter. He went around the world being big time. Then he came back to New York, and Superior Spider-Man just completely destroyed him. Look at that. Put in a wheelchair. Again, we got some really cool alternate covers. I love this one. This is my favorite one. Oh yeah, Shocker gets that Thunderbolt belt cover removed from him. This is Pony foes of Spider-Man. There's a bunch of supervillain lookalikes there. The second Beetle. And this is how issue 17 was kind of written out with pages. If anyone's interested. And that's it. Not really a lot of extras, but it just tells a story. Like I said, I really like how issues 10 and 11 are at the very end. But that's probably just because that's how I read it. Just straightforward with the 3 trade paperbacks. Honestly, probably the funniest comic book series I have read in a super long time, if not my entire life. Especially now that I'm older, I'm getting all of the references. Well, I'll say this here. Oh, I love this alternate cover right here as well. My next complete history of video on my second channel, or my first channel, The Real Super Sam, is a complete history of the Shocker. Yeah, you can see where his belt got torn right there. And I'm up to this series on talking about the complete history of Shocker, so kind of close. This came out in 2013, or started in 2013. Still in Silvermane's head. Tombstone's daughter is here, and we learned that, I sound weird. I actually find it cool that she was a lawyer, and she got her costume from a supervillain. She was helping out the Fixer. And, yep, she's back. Or not back, she decides to go villain her Speed Demon. He didn't use a roller skate because he broke his leg. There's a Dormammu for a joke, just in one panel. That's kind of a cool look for Dormammu without a suit on. This is the funniest 4-panel here. He's all lying about Bullseye, saying how Bullseye can't be as cool as him. And he's like, "You've been telling lies, Freddy." I mean, that's not how he says it in my head, but he's super smart. And I say it's just a robot. Kind of amazing. Yeah, the only real bad thing here is that Shocker is treated as a huge loser. Until the very end, ... Well, actually, he almost dies. He gets buried alive, but then his friend Hydro-Man saves him. He kind of punches Hydro-Man out and then goes on his way. Look at this. Speed Demon has Silvermane's head all dressed up. This is a running gag with Beetle not being able to walk through thin doorways with his huge wings, or Mach 7 not being able to walk through the huge doorways. Yeah, actually, Punisher does show up to kill everybody, but then the Shocker appears in his Shockmobile. This actually did appear in Spidey Super Stories issue 5 or 15. It's in my other video that I'll make on my second channel. He blasts Punisher like across the city. Look at that. And he's a New Dawn. Now, I forget if that ever comes back into play. I don't think it does. But yeah, awesome ending. Shot. I just went through this omnibus in this series. Someday I'll probably do a huge retrospective. I don't even know if I would rank it. I'd probably rank it an 8 out of 10. I just put it really high because I like the story. But for an omnibus, what it collects and what it does, really not that special. I think the 3 trade paperbacks do a good job if you just want the content. The greatest thing with this is Boomerang, giving him an awesome new characterization. And I think this is the book where they gave him... No, I don't think this was his first appearance of his brand new costume, but they kind of made that mainstream after this, or thanks to this book. One thing that really did surprise me was Superior Spider-Man didn't even show up in this book at all. I mean, he had flashbacks and tellings and thoughts about him, but if I remember, then the only time he fights the superior foes are in issue 1 of his own series, Superior Spider-Man issue 1. Okay, with that said, going through just looking at this omnibus, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day. Happy New Year 2024.